Hi, I'm Kevin Keller, the pragmatic statistician. In this episode of Street Stats, we're going to talk about that cumulative percent line with Pareto charts. Now, most statistical software, as a default, offers the cumulative percent line on a Pareto chart. The fancy term for that is an ogive plot. And about all that's good for is getting you a drink in a bar bet. So today we're going to call it the ogive plot because it's faster than cumulative percent line. Now, if your quality literature goes back about 30 or 40 years ago, you're going to see that the bars on the Pareto are expanded as high as they can go. And on the Y2 axis, the ogive starts independently of the Pareto chart bars. At some point in time, the world changed and the Pareto bars are shrunk to fit the ogive plot. Now, that's great and bad at the exact same time. It's great if you watch my previous episode of Street Stats, where I talk about what randomness looks like with a Pareto chart. If the variable is not important, then the Pareto is highly compressed. This variable is not important. It occurs at random, move on. So here's an example from last time. So we have data, we have machines, and we have the number of failures, just so you can kind of get a sense that there is data going into this. And I'm going to do the Pareto analysis this time for us. So we're working in this particular data, and our categories are machine and the number of failures. And you'll notice here under our study setup, show cumulative frequency line. So I click that and I see that. And you can see how it compresses all of the bars because it's trying to fit this ogive plot. So if you watched my last episode, you go, oh, this must be at random. There's nothing here. I'm going to uh, move on. Then you chose wisely. Now, if the Pareto chart is meaningful, it's kind of hard to see the Pareto chart. So here's my advice. When you are first running a Pareto analysis, leave the line on. If it's all compressed, nothing's here, move on. But if you see that you have one or two bars that are really high and you're getting close to that 80-20 rule, then for management presentations, turn off the ogive plot. You still have the table, you still have all of those percentages. Here's the secret. No one cares about the ogive plot. They care about the relationships. And you've always got the percentages in the table. So let's see what this looks like. So I created a data set where I just have 5 categories, and you can see the numbers, the frequencies for each of those. And we're going to do a Pareto chart. And I labeled this category and I labeled this count so I wouldn't mess things up. And you'll notice that in the study setup, the default is the cumulative frequency line, the ogive. And here we have it. So I'm going to maximize that up a little bit. And I can see that B and D are high and A, E, C are low, but I kind of want to blow this thing up for management presentation. And over here on the left, I have the cumulative percentages, so that's helpful. So if I go into study setup and I click on display, I can unclick that. And now it gives me the Pareto a little more blown up, probably more suitable for your management presentation. All right, so hopefully that helps out. And to reiterate from the other Pareto video, if you did nothing, you would predict that you'd get the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe not the exact numbers, but the relationship. Fix the highest bar, then the next, and so on. But you say, well, wait a minute, Kevin, wait a minute. Last time you emphasized that this 80-20 rule, and that's not really true here. We got five categories, so 20% would be one category. It's only 50%. And it takes two categories to get up to 80%. All right. Down here with A, E, and C, we can clearly see that those are trailing off. Those are probably at random at a low level, but B and D are by far the highest. Now, the other thing to think about, does everybody have equal opportunity or does B and D have more opportunity? And these are things you must think about to say, is this real? And I saw somebody solve a problem one time because the relationships did not prove out on a Pareto chart the way they should have. All right, hopefully that's all helpful. So be careful out there. The streets are messy and so is data. But remember, there's always a way.